Welcome to RNS Podcast. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Evan.
Today we're going to talk about some real nerd stuff, aren't we, Evan?
Of course.
Today's real nerd thing is Master of Disguise.
It's very real.
It's a very real nerd type thing. It's more of a thinking man's comedy.
I would agree.
I would agree with that. A thinking man's satire from the early 2000s.
It's the greatest film of
our
lifetime.
Yeah.
Of our life.
Since the advent of color film.
Yeah, I would say so.
Greatest.
It might not be the best film, but it's the best film in color.
Yeah, sure. Certainly. And it uses color so well. It uses the use of sound, color, set design, character design.
It's everything you want in a movie.
It's genius. Screenwriting. This really should be taught in screenwriting schools.
I agree.
In prop making schools. There's an immaculately made dinosaur prop that's only used for 3 seconds. That is just an attention to detail that you do not see.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get back into all that. But I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. And I implore you to do so if you haven't already. Is that right, Evan?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. I like when you do it.
Do it, or we're going to make you watch Master of Disguise.
Well,
don't threaten them with a good time.
Yeah. Threaten them with a good time. So, Evan, what do you... there's nothing you want to talk about before Master of Disguise, is there?
We saw a couple movies. I don't know if you want to talk about them or not.
Black Phone and...
Well, I saw Elvis.
Oh, I did not see Elvis, yeah.
I don't know if you mind if I
Did you go alone?
Yeah, I did. I did see it by myself.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, well, my life is sad, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing new there.
That's true. Everyone pity Evan in the comments.
Please.
Come
see a movie with me.
That's not something you want to put out there.
Yeah, you have a point. Yeah, you have a pretty good point. There may be certain characters who I don't want to go see movies with.
Strange, suspicious characters I used to warn you about in the front of the movies.
Do you want to talk about the Black Phone briefly?
Well, why don't we talk about Elvis first?
Okay. I got you. Dylan, how about I just read you my Letterboxd review of Elvis?
Well, that sounds like a delightful time. I'll comment on
I'm going to read you guys word for word my Letterboxd review.
For context, his Letterboxd review is really fucking long.
It's not really long. If you read it, it looks long. If I say it, it'll be only...
Well, Evan, why don't you get right started?
You ready? Truly terrible first half with some of the worst editing I've seen in a minute, but ultimately picks up in the second half once it becomes more focused. Austin Butler gives a great performance as Elvis and carries the entire film on his back, but it still feels like he doesn't have much to work with in a movie that's almost 3 hours long.
Jesus Christ.
Tom Hanks, on the other hand, yikes. This is not a quote from my review, but Tom Hanks was terrible in this.
Okay.
You should know that.
Well, he's an
individual.
He is a...
he was really bad in this movie. Back to the review. The best thing this movie did is make me want to go back and listen to Elvis's hits. The music honestly probably made me give this movie a higher score than it really deserves. LOL. Off the review again. So yeah, just when I was watching it, I was like, listen to, it's like when you hear a good song, you're like, oh, this is fun, but it's like, well, this isn't really the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an Elvis song. I like that.
Elvis's producer made this 90 years ago. It's not really the movie's fault.
I'm like, oh, that's good. But, and then there's parts where they just like randomly like put in like modern pop music. It's really bad. That's really bad. And during the credits, there's an Eminem song. Yeah. And that's
so bad.
It's really bad. Back to the review.
Who the fuck do you think is watching that? I'm sorry.
No. Well, it's from the same director as The Great Gatsby, and he did the same shit with that. You remember there's like rap music and shit and fucking.
I feel like Great Gatsby, kind of.
I didn't like that movie, so.
Well, I mean, I thought it was okay, but just the use of like modern music, I'm like, okay, like whatever. Like it's supposed to be a period piece also, but like whatever. But when the movie is literally about a fucking musician.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely not my style. Back to the review. There's just too much going on and so many ideas, with none of them really explored at all. Even the Elvis and Colonel Tom Parker relationship, which is the heart of this movie, doesn't really have a full circle moment or satisfying conclusion. Colonel Tom Parker is who Tom Hanks plays.
Yeah.
Movie. Yeah.
Okay.
If it were me making this, I think I would have had it focus solely on the fat Elvis years, more gritty and less glamorous, with Elvis at his most vulnerable and his relationships at their lowest, with Miles Teller in the role. And that's the end of the review.
Excuse me, my alarm was going on.
Yeah, that's unforgivable.
But, Evan, they would never do that.
Oh,
because
no,
these are all vanity projects.
You are correct.
Yeah. If it's a musician biopic or a biopic in general, it's like you're not getting anything interesting out of that. Like fucking The Greatest Showman, what's his name? Something Barnum and Bailey, whatever.
Is that the one with Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Like, that dude has been dead for 100 years. And they still wouldn't, like, give him any flaws.
Good.
Any interesting flaws or anything. Like, so, of course, they're not going to... I don't want to say shit on. Like, they're not going to, like I said, like, give them flaws that are, like, imperative to storytelling.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, in this movie, it's like, they, like, try to explore, like, his whole life. And it's just, like... It's just too much for one movie, you know what I mean? It is. And then it's like, it ends up not really focusing on anything at all. Because you're like here for 15 minutes, and you're here for 15 minutes, and then it's like... And plus, at the end of it, it's like, I still don't really know who Elvis is. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the movie's like over 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you didn't spend enough time with him, like, to get to know...
Yeah.
To get to know him. You kind of just jumping around.
Yeah, and then Tom Hanks' character, like, narrates the movie. And it's like, why? It doesn't really ever, like, give you a reason why he's narrating it.
I've fallen off of Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I don't know if those nasty rumors are true or not, but they ruined Tom Hanks for me. I don't know if they're real, but they're probably real. But anyways, I actually think fucking like young Elvis is pretty badass. When I saw the trailer, like with him on like the something Sullivan show or whatever the fuck it is, my cookies are burning.
Oh, they're burning.
Yeah, they're burning. Leave this in.
We'll come back. We'll come back, RNS listeners. We are back.
I'm sorry about that. I was baking.
Yeah, you were baking.
Yeah, I'm a multifaceted individual, and I was just doing a bit of baking. But back to Elvis.
So
I needed to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right. What Eminem song played at the end?
Oh, it's like one he made for the movie.
That sucks.
Well, you know, he makes music for really bad movies now.
He's been doing that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, if Eminem's on the soundtrack, that says something, I guess. I don't remember the last time, like... I don't remember if he's ever made a song and I was like, yo, like... he got on a good movie. Like, I don't think
8 Mile?
I guess.
He had fucking Lose Yourself in 8 Mile.
But that's like his movie.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's like the only one I can think of.
So, of course, he's gonna, like, try hard on his own movie, but like Venom, he's like Venom.
Carnage.
Elvis.
But yeah.
So that's very interesting. I'm still probably gonna watch it at some point.
Yeah.
I was gonna watch it with my mom and my grandma, but I kind of flubbed that up. But I don't know.
Just go, take your time and see it whenever you're ready.
See it off the Quaaludes, like Elvis himself would have.
Yeah, of course.
Does he die on the toilet?
Well, you don't see it. You don't see him die.
No. Or it just kind of ends and he's like, oh, my career, like I'm fat.
Well, it said like, oh, he passed away.
There's
like,
fat Elvis parts, right?
Yeah.
So how does the movie end? It's
like, I'm trying to think. So he like gets on the airplane. It's like he's sad and fucking alone, and his career's like hit the shitter, no pun intended. And then he rides the plane after saying bye to like his ex-wife, and then it's like, oh, he died like a year later or whatever the fuck, something like that.
They should have ended. Okay, can I pitch something to you?
Yeah.
This is my pitch for the ending scene of Elvis.
Okay.
So the whole movie happens how it happens, but instead of like you said, he's like on a plane or something.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of that, he goes and sees his ex-wife, and then he's like, oh, hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then
they should have did this.
And then so he goes, closes the door. You hear the door close, and then it fades out and fades back in. And Evan, are you listening? It's a very low shot on the ground, and you just see his like white sparkly pants like around his ankles, and then you see like his hand like limp like fall kind of to the ground, and then you like a peanut butter banana sandwich mushes into the ground.
Yeah, they should have did that. I agree.
And then the movie ends.
That would have been a good way to end it.
Is that badass or no?
No, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I did say it was a good way. So.
All right, everyone please applaud me.
Yeah.
And like the video.
I would have liked that better.
Yeah. It's more honest.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Elvis. What do you give Elvis out of 10?
I would give it a...
Well, you gave it a 2.5 on Letterboxd, right?
Yeah, but I'm thinking, like, because I was like, it might be lower than that.
You were saying in your review...
Yeah, about the music, yeah.
You enjoyed the music, so you maybe gave it...
So, out of 10, I would give it either a 4 or a 5.
Pretty mid.
Yeah.
Pretty mid. Okay.
Yeah, either a 4 or a 5.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. I might enjoy it. I think I like even Elvis's music and whatnot, and like his persona probably more than you do.
Maybe.
Probably enjoy it a little bit more, so maybe I'll like it. Yeah, Elvis. There's Elvis.
Elvis.
I give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Black Phone.
Black Phone.
Evan,
it was cool.
Will you tell me what is Black Phone?
What is Black Phone? It's about the kid who gets kidnapped.
Who made it?
And he answered the black phone.
Well, dial it back though. Who made it?
Scott Derrickson.
Scott Derrickson made it.
Yeah, he did.
What are his first 10 movies that he directed?
I have no fucking idea.
Well, he's the Doctor Strange guy.
Yeah,
He got fired. For context, if you're listening, yeah, he got fired off for Doctor Strange 2. Or quit, like whatever you want.
Even creative differences. They went their separate ways.
Yeah, it was amicable.
Yeah, we assume.
They didn't shit can him to put a different name on it.
Do you think he's seen Multiverse of Madness?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think he has. I don't think he's even seen Doctor Strange.
Yeah, probably not. Really bad movie, by the way.
Yeah,
both Doctor Strange. Both
Doctor Strange 2 sucks. Doctor Strange 1. They both sucks for very different reasons, but they both suck. But yeah, Black Phone. So, as you were saying, Black Phone is about a little boy.
Yeah, the grabber. The grabber grabs him, and he answers the black phone. Yeah. And the spirits help him.
The grabber grabbed the little boy, and the spirits
And that's what the movie's about. No, but for real,
well, you nailed it.
Yeah. For more context, I guess, it's like, there's this evil, like, child serial killer or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, he kidnaps this one kid, who ends up being his final victim, I guess.
Yeah.
Because... Well, he fucking murders him at the end. Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoilers for Elvis, which is a real guy, but and then also spoilers for Black Phone. And also spoilers for Master of Disguise.
Yeah. So, the grabber grabs the kid who may or may not have a psychic connection. His sister does.
I have a theory about that.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so yeah, basically the premise also revolves around, like, some paranormal... It's like... I would say it's mostly a thriller, but there's some paranormal stuff going on, some normal elements. And the sister is like straight up psychic, and I think she was kind of like had a connection to her brother.
Yeah.
That was maybe like helping him a little bit. That was like maybe helping him like use the phone or...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, he had to have like some kind of psychic...
I don't think he was really psychic, but I think maybe something with his sister was like helping him.
I thought about that too, yeah.
I don't know.
It could be that, yeah.
But it was a good fun time. It was a cool time.
Yeah,
was it not a cool time at the movies?
It was cool.
Yeah, Jeremy Jahns, classic Jeremy Jahns.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I want to mention this because I thought it was so stupid. So I watched his review before I saw the movie, and he was like, "Oh, if you showed this to somebody and you said it was from the '70s, like they might believe you." Like, no, the fuck they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
No one would ever believe that.
Is that true? So I was saying this the day we saw it. Like, it tried to be like Stranger Things, and it's like really bad. And like it's worse. Like that Stranger Thing vibe it tried to have is even cringier than Stranger Things vibe.
Black Phone?
Yeah. Like he tries to have that like quirky kind I don't know if quirky is the right word. But like I don't know. I don't really know what the word is for it. Like this
it's like Spielberg
kind of
rip off kind of like period piece type of thing. Yeah.
And it's like at times it's a bit cringe.
I'm not a huge fan of it either.
But it was cool. All the paranormal stuff was probably my favorite part of the movie. I like that he works with like the other kids. So yeah, what I was saying is like the other kids calling him through the phone, trying to help him out, like who were the victims of Ethan Hawke's character, who's like the serial killer.
Yeah, and does he figure it out? Does it work? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
We told you spoilers.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, there's various things that they teach him or they show him that were like kind of hidden in the room, and he figures out little cool little things.
Yeah. And
there's one part where he's only been being fed like I think
eggs.
I think
it was eggs,
like eggs and Sprite.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of funny. Like there's one part where he like lifts the toilet thing off and like drinks the toilet water.
Yeah.
and our whole audience was like, ew. It's like, bitch, like, ew. Like, he's in a fucking cement basement where, like, 5 kids were killed. Yeah. Ew. You just saw, like, a fucking bludgeoned, destroyed corpse of a child, like, 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. But the toilet water...
But it's like, oh, he's drinking, like, clean toilet water. Ew. Ew. But yeah, it was entertaining. It was a fun movie. It was a good movie.
He did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do.
He was thirsty. He had to drink that. You would do the same thing.
That made me hungry for eggs. I'm not kidding.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, they looked really appetizing on that tray.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And like with that classic Sprite bottle, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Huh. Yeah, he had a cool mask. There was some... For every, like, cool stylistic moment, there's also, like, a stupid thing. But, you know, it's...
It was just, like, it's nothing special.
It's just like, a fun little summer thriller.
Pretty much, yeah.
For you to enjoy.
Not too much to say about it.
I mean, what would you give Black Phone out of 10?
A 7, probably.
Yeah, I'd give it, like, a 2.5 stars out of 3.
Nice.
Out of my classic 3-star system.
3? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I'd recommend it. Go watch it. Or don't.
Yeah, especially if you're inclined to, like, watch thrillers or horror stuff, or... If you like Stranger Things, you'll like it.
Probably.
I almost guarantee it.
Probably, yeah.
It's a little scarier than Stranger Things.
What Stranger Things is fucking scary at all.
Yeah, Stranger Things is, like, the least fucking scary thing I've ever seen.
Just kidding. The Demogorgon made me shit my pants.
The Demogorgon.
I shit my pants watching that.
You're making me scream.
Yeah. So, yeah, Black Phone. Now we can move on to the good stuff.
So now we can talk about a real movie.
Yeah, a real good movie.
So this is a real movie.
Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise, circa 2002.
Yeah, 2002. Dana Carvey.
Comedic genius.
Comedic genius.
Genius.
How should we start out talking about Master of Disguise, though?
This movie is fucking terrible.
It is pretty bad. But when I was watching it with you, I'm like, at the beginning, I was like, oh, like, this is stupid, but I'm kind of, like, having a fun time.
If you're ever going to watch it with a friend.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, this isn't bad, but I'm, like, enjoying myself. Then we got, like, halfway through the movie. And then it was, like, starting to get, like, kind of unbearable. It was like, okay, this is not...
But I do feel like genuinely some of the bits in the beginning are, like... It's not like we lost steam. Like, we're like, oh, we can't handle it anymore. It was like the movie lost steam. Yeah. Like, fucking, like, the jokes get lazier and lazier as the movie goes on.
And they already were not great. Like I said, they're very stupid at the beginning, but it's like, oh, I'm with a friend watching this stupid movie. It's like, oh, this is a good time. And then you get, like, halfway through, like I said. And it's a very short movie. It's only 80 minutes. Actually, and the credits, we can talk about that. The credits are long, and there's like 5 post-credit scenes.
Well, actually, the intro credits and the credits, they're both very long.
Yeah.
I feel like they like couldn't, they were like, we can't do this. Like, we can't get this feature length. We're going to have to just like fudge something.
And they did. They're
like, oh, my cousin does graphic design. We can make like a storybook thing, like Shrek. Like, okay.
Yeah, with the credits and like, the intro credits, the movie's probably like 70 minutes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
The credits are long as shit.
And there's some... No, less than 70 minutes. I mean, it'd be like, it's like 60-something minutes.
Some of the stuff in the credits, too, is like genuinely more entertaining than the movie.
No, like 70 minutes. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, which we can get into. Dylan, do you want to give them a brief plot synopsis for if you have not seen this film?
I will give you the best fucking plot synopsis of Master of Disguise possible, okay?
And should we say also... Well, I think we mentioned this 2 episodes ago, but like you always say, it's always someone's first episode.
Oh, it sure is.
This is known as one of the worst comedies of all time.
Genuinely, yeah. So we indulge in a bit of irony now and again. But seriously, yeah, this movie sucks. And, like, everyone knows it sucks. It's similar to Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah.
Freddy Got Fingered is much better.
It's a better movie.
Freddy Got Fingered is a much better movie. If someone tried to tell you that this movie was a surrealist, like, comedy, like, they're brain dead. Like, they're an idiot. It just sucks.
They're fudging it.
It's just, it's just a bad... Like, they just heard someone say that once. And they're like, oh, I'll sound smart if I say that. But yeah, so this movie is about a long line. It's a long line, Evan, a tradition of people that disguise themselves.
Yeah.
And they use this keen ability to help the world.
Yeah, they are good guys.
They're good guys. They're heroes. It reminds me, we were talking about this a bit of like Sly Cooper.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
like it's like a history, a lineage of thieves.
Yeah,
but they're not thieves. They're good guys, but they are tricky.
Yeah.
And sneaky, like
they
Sly
are sneaky.
Cooper. Right?
They are sneaky.
So the movie starts off. Evan, you have an eagle eye, so you noticed that this was the intro is being narrated by the grandfather.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I mentioned to you, but I actually have seen this movie before. As a child, I've seen this movie. When I was very young, I saw the movie, so I knew like a little bit about like what was happening because it's been a long time. But I was like, I remembered certain stuff.
Yeah. So the only exposure I had to this movie before watching it today was just the Turtle Club scene.
Yeah,
and
which
also,
is like the most famous fucking scene in the movie.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that scene. Yeah, it has a bit of nuance, Evan.
It does.
But it's about a long line of freaking disguiseologists. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, disguiseologists.
And guess what their last name is? It's very clever.
Oh, what is it?
What is it? Disguisely?
Disguisee.
Disguisee. Yeah. Even more clever.
Yeah, disguisee.
So they are the disguisees.
Yeah.
And then the grandpa say, "We are the disguisees. We are specialized in disguise."
Yeah.
So he says that. And it's just really fucking funny. And the opening scene is narrated by the grandfather, but he's describing the actions of his son.
Yeah.
And his son is kind of screwing over this evil business guy. The evil business guy goes to jail. And then years and years and years later, the father has a handicapped son
that's certainly a way to put it,
that he wants to protect him, right? So he says you can't, like, he says we must never tell him of the ways
of his destiny. They don't want to tell his destiny.
So that's one of my, we'll get to it in a moment, but that's one of my favorite jokes in the movie. And I don't know how intentional I think it is intentional, but like we'll get to that in a minute. But basically, yeah, they say we must never tell him of his destiny.
Yeah, and real quick, there's something that's like, what the fuck? Like, there's a lot of this in the movie, but they never explain why. No. Like, why he can't know about his destiny.
If I had to read into the movie more than I should, I think it's because he is handicapped.
No, but the reason I disagree with that, though, is because, like...
He's good at it?
No, in the flashback, if when he says it, and he was like a baby...
Maybe they, like, read his chromosomes. Like, I don't know.
It's like he just says that, like, back in, like, fucking, like, 40 years before the movie takes place or whatever the fuck. He's like, no, my son must never know of this life. And they never explain why. I guess that's why, because he's special.
He's handicapped. Yeah.
That certainly may be the reason.
So that's nutty. That's the best idea I can think of. Because they don't want him, like, hurting himself and stuff. They don't want him to be... So that's one thing about the movie, though, is, like, he's a good family, actually.
Yeah, they're
like,
nice.
There's not really much drama, and he wants to fuck his mom as well.
He does like his mom's ass.
So that's a factor in the film. That's a factor. It's a big factor.
It is.
So
they established that pretty early on. That
very early.
There's a trait from his mother that he likes on his women.
Uncomfortably early on. Because, like, what if some mom, like, or, like, family, like, was like, oh, like, the funny man, like, the funny guy from
Wayne's World.
Let's take, And then he's like, I want to fuck my mom. Huge fucking ass. Crazy.
Insane film.
Dana, you crazy.
Yeah, he really is.
So where are we at? So he has a cool family that, like, they're trying to keep it from him. And so this is the first thing I wanted to mention about them kind of wasting ideas.
Yeah.
That I probably will talk about that a couple more times, but basically there's this thing where it's like it's so ingrained in their family that they disguise that he can't help it.
Yeah, he like does like dress up and shit.
He doesn't know anything about like his like lineage. Obviously his name is fucking Disguisey.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know about his lineage.
Pistachio Disguisey. Pistachio
Disguisey. But he doesn't know anything about his lineage or what his family like his their tradition and their abilities in terms of disguising. But yeah, he has this like underneath it all like this need to disguise himself, and they do nothing with that. It's just like for one scene where he's like, you better not be in there making funny faces.
Well, they do bring it back at the end, actually, when he like saves his dad from the dark side or whatever.
Kinda.
He's like, remember, I put the women's underwear on my head.
Well, it's not the women's underwear. It's just his underwear.
Oh, I thought oh no, was it just his underwear? I put the underwear on my head.
I put the underwear. No, it's not even that deep. It's just his underwear. But yeah, so he'll like just put underwear on his head and then put like shaving cream on his face. and his dad like knocks on the door. He's like, you better not be making funny faces. And he's like, I'm not just making funny faces. I put the shaving cream and the underwear on my face. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
It's so hilarious.
It's so funny that you can't help but chuckle and laugh. But yeah, so he's a funny character, and he has a dog named the Cuteness, right?
The Cuteness, yeah.
The Cuteness. So this is like the Master of Disguise walks so Borat could run.
Yeah, I would agree.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
They're actually kind of like similar.
You got the goofy European.
Just the funny accent European guy. That's all you need. And then what happens? They get kidnapped.
Yeah, the mom and the dad. And it's like the most anticlimactic thing ever.
Yeah, it is, because they get kidnapped.
And for some reason, he's on the roof watching. Because like it's like a minute before that. So it's like we mentioned, he likes like the big asses. And then it's like, oh, the girl he went on a date with a huge ass. If with his like douchebag coworker or whatever. And then next thing you know, he's on the roof just watching his parents get kidnapped by like the evil businessman that his dad got arrested.
Yeah, it's pretty... Moves pretty fast.
Yeah, he's just on the roof. He's like, oh no, and he tried to call the police, and they're like, fuck you, or whatever.
Yeah, because he's doing a horrible shtick on the phone. That's
with
why.
The cannoli.
Yeah, he's like, hello, my mommy's cannoli is here, don't worry. And they're like, don't call back. It is kind of funny that like no one thinks he's funny.
Yeah.
But it also makes the movie feel a lot more like he's just like literally just like a handicapped person, which is also like kind of uncomfortable, but. Yeah, like
the movie is certainly problematic, and by today's standards.
See, I don't have a thin skin. Would you? You wouldn't say that, would you?
Of course,
I don't have much of a thin skin, but this movie is. You can't make this movie.
No, you definitely cannot.
You can't. I'm not even gonna say a time period. You just can't make this movie. Yeah, you just can't make this movie. I did like the giant fake asses.
Oh, those were awesome.
On several characters.
Yeah.
Cool. That was cool. There was never a part where like I kind of wanted there to be a part where like the son like tricks the mom, or like the son like there's no like they don't like play around with the disguises with the family.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just all kind of like random bullshit. I don't know, like there's no like I don't know, like I wanted at the end like the dog to pull off the mask and be like, it was me. Like
we talked about it.
Like I don't know.
They do kind of have that in one of the post-credit scenes.
Kinda, but I just mean in general, like, there was no, like, little, like, funny twist, or, like one of the main family members getting it over on one of the other ones for some reason, like, and I thought at the end, well, I guess we'll get that later, but the ending was kind of just nothing.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that later. But yeah, for now, Pistachio Disguisely is alone.
Disguisee.
See, I want to add more of a regular name to it, but it's just so fucking lazy. Not even Disguisely. Disguisee.
Pistachio. Disguisee.
Someone make that into a fucking beat.
Yeah.
What we just said. That was awesome. But yeah, so there's like, he's like, oh no, my parents are gone. He calls the police, and then immediately his grandpa shows up. Played by...
I have no fucking
Played
idea.
by Sam
Neill of Jurassic Park fame.
Sam Neill.
Of Jurassic Park fame plays him. No, he does not. I have no idea who.
Played by Sam Elliott.
It's Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
Sam Elliott. Might as well be.
Played by Sam Elliott.
That would have been awesome.
He kind of has a Sam Elliott vibe.
Kind of. He's
bit.
the Italian Sam Elliott.
Yeah. But yeah, the grandpa come and he kind of just explains like, oh, your father did not want you to be a disguisely. And he was like, oh no.
Yeah, and then you get like the training sequence.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's hilarious. So, I feel like this is when, like, the really shitty jokes, like, started kicking in around this time.
Yeah, because the beginning of the movie was like, oh, this is just like a shitty Mad TV thing.
Yeah, or SNL. Because Dana Carvey was... Because I guess that's where whoever fucking wrote, produced, whatever, directed, whoever came up with the idea for this movie, they're like, oh yeah, Dana Carvey does all the funny costumes and all that. What if there was a whole movie of that?
What if we did a funny costumes movie?
Yeah. And then it's like...
And it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
It worked out. So... Yeah, the grandpa come and he trains him and there's...
No. You know, before this... The worst joke in the movie. It comes in before this. Can I talk about it?
Yes, what is it?
So, like, I forgot the villain or whatever. The villain from the past who comes back.
Oh, yeah.
When he kidnaps the fucking, the father, and he does, like, an evil laugh. And this happens multiple times throughout the movie. And it's not funny the first time, but it happens, like, they keep bringing it back. He does his evil laugh, and then at the end of it, he farts. It's like, oh, isn't that awkward?
And he's like embarrassed.
Yeah, he's like, isn't that awkward? Isn't that silly? Isn't that goofy?
I think the worst, because you mentioned it comes back multiple times.
Yeah.
The worst part is that they don't iterate on it until, well, they do during like the post-credit scene, I guess.
Well, what do you mean?
They don't iterate on it. Like nothing changes. Like if it's a recurring joke, like you have to like do something with it.
Oh no, dude! There's that one where it's like he doesn't fart, and then a second later he farts.
Yeah, like the timing is off by like 1 second, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't fart," and then he's like, "Oh no, I farted."
Yeah.
Great joke. But at the end, he dies and then he farts.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Did he die? Is that confirmation that he was fucking dead?
Yeah, and then they all like hug each other and laugh like the fucking family.
Yeah, at the training sequence, you get the silly slaps during that scene. So it's like the family, they fight by slapping.
Yeah, he said, I thought that was like kind of funny, but it doesn't really go anywhere. But he's like, we never strike with the closed fist.
Yeah,
or something like
that. Or
with
the open palm.
Yeah, we never strike with the open palm. Oh, yeah.
No, they do strike with the open
palm. Yeah. Very funny either way.
Very funny.
So they do the training sequence. One part I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I can't say funny because I can't say that, but I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, only kind of funny.
When he's dressed like a girl. It's like one of the first disguises he tries.
Oh, when he dresses Asuka from Evangelion.
He's dressed like Asuka from Evangelion, which is kind of true. Like it's the same hair and it's like a schoolgirl outfit, which is kind of weird. Maybe the costume designer was like watching Ava at the time.
Yeah, they
I
were.
don't know. Was like the first Ava movie coming out back then or something?
No, it was already out because it came out in 2002. Ava was in the 90s, so.
The movie?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, either way, he's dressed like Asuka from that.
Yeah.
And what is that? What happens? He's dressed like a schoolgirl, and then like a schoolboy walks up and gives him a kiss.
Yeah.
And he's like, ooh.
And I think the grandpa's like,
which is of course very fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then like the slapping thing is just not funny ever.
Yeah.
It's never funny.
Yeah, and I remember we were talking about like every joke for the most part. It's like the setup is so obvious.
Yeah.
Like we knew because I remember pointing this out specifically during the slap part. It's like the grandpa's like, oh yeah, who's your daddy? Fucking slapping the robot or whatever. It's like, oh, now he's gonna do it, and the robot's like gonna beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
and then that happens.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, because we were like talking to each other. We're like, dude, there's no way that's gonna knock him over. It's not gonna happen. It can't knock him over, and then it knocks him over.
Yeah, no, it actually fucking knocks him over. Like he's like, ah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the training part. Great.
And something really bad in this movie also, because it's like they do nothing with it. It's not funny, and it just goes nowhere. It's mentioned at the beginning and then comes back at the end. So you find out like the reason they have this power is because they're like connected to like the force that's called the Energico or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I think that's Italian energy.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, and it's like he just gains it by being like, I am this person or whatever. He's like, I am not me. And
wait, yeah, what does he say?
I forgot. They have like some mantra or whatever. But it's so yeah. He does a brown face.
He does do.
And this is when he learns to use the Energico.
Yeah, so he's trying and failing to do an Indian impression.
Yeah.
Like proper.
I do a snake. He's doing the snake charm.
Yeah, he's doing a fake snake charm impression.
Right.
And the grandpa's like, "You're a fucking hack. Like you."
Yeah.
You got to do better. You got to say the Force.
Yeah, so he just pulls like a plot device out of his ass. He's like, "We're connected to this Force or whatever."
Yeah, there's like nothing clever about it.
Yeah,
like because they could have done like a few like scenes where he's like learning or something.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like they could still be funny, but he could still be getting better at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, he's just like, well, here, just use the Force, and then you'll be good now. And then he's like, oh, now it's a funny time. And then he just keeps doing a bad Indian accent.
And he played Kenny G on his recorder.
And so that effect, I wanted to talk about that effect too. So he's like, oh, I end this person. And then he very unfunnily like names like his like full address and name and like.
Yeah.
I was like, God, this sucks. And he's like, I'm from India.
India.
Like, it's so stupid. And then he's like, oh, I can do this now. I can show him the snake. And then he like, so he goes to like play this fucking recorder. And then they literally just like next to the mic, I guess, just play fucking Kenny G. And it's like they don't take out the other instruments.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was supposed to be like part of the joke. It's like, oh, he's like he busted out full fucking like music piece playing the shit.
But I don't think that was even the right instrument. I think he was playing a fucking like recorder.
He was playing a recorder.
Like a fourth grader's recorder.
Yeah, he was.
Fucking. I mean, there's a way you could make that funny, but it just was not funny.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, the way like they edit the sound in is like so like.
It's so bad. It's just not funny. And the rest of the movie is not like that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like that in the movie. And they don't like...
that kind of makes it worse, honestly.
Yeah, and they don't call attention to it in the right way. Like, it kind of just seems like lazy.
Yeah.
It seems more like it's lazy than it's like, oh, that's... Like, they just left that in. That's
well, that's also... Because it's like, it's like a famous Kenny G piece.
Yeah.
And that's just another unfunny gag that's throughout this movie. They just play, like... terrible like pop music and be like haha laugh. Like they do the fucking King Julian music.
God, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Well, so there's this one part,
and that's really unfunny.
It's around this part where he's learning from the grandpa.
Yeah.
And he says like, "Oh, we have a long line of a family doing this, guys." And I can do a bad Italian accent because I'm Italian, so it's not offensive. Right?
Oh yeah.
So this is so bad, and I think this is the first time we really looked at each other and we were like, that is a very, very bad joke. You know what I mean? Like, this movie is fucking terrible. That's the first time because, what does he say? He says, oh, like, we helped...
Get Abraham Lincoln elected because he was so boring.
Yeah, they go through different examples through history of them helping history be better. Yeah. And then like, we helped Abraham Lincoln get elected because he was such a boring speaker.
Yeah.
And then it's clearly like a public park in like fucking like Detroit. Like it's like just some random public park. It doesn't look like fucking back in time at all. And they're just like in like powdered wigs and like sitting on like folding chairs. Yeah. Sitting at like a stage. And there's like 10 people. And it's like, Abraham fucking Lincoln. There's like 10 people. And it's like full adult Abraham Lincoln. But anyways, basically the Abraham Lincoln that's boring, the real one, like tags in Dana Carvey's like ancestor.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, screw all that noise. Let's party. And he starts dancing and fucking I Like to Move It starts playing. And they'll start dancing.
And it's like... that song is just like so not fun. You know what I mean? It's like a kid. It's like a baby joke. You know what I mean?
No, what it seems like.
Like that sounds stupid, being like, "Oh, this is a baby joke," but like literally, like that's like in fucking Madagascar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like playing with a yo-yo in front of a kid. It's funnier in Madagascar.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, King Julian's an icon.
Genuinely, he is funny. Yeah. King Julian's funny.
Yeah.
But in this, it genuinely feels like a placeholder. Yeah. It feels like they wrote a joke where like. Okay, for one of the flashback, like, ancestor jokes, Abraham Lincoln is boring. So, like, a disguisely has to spice up his speech.
Yeah.
And then they were like, pop music, question mark. And, like, it just seems like the entire scene was like a placeholder in, like, the script, and they just filmed it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really fucking bad. That might be the worst scene in the entire movie. That might be the worst part.
It's certainly up there.
And it's not even so bad that it's... There's no universe where you can make that funny.
I think the farts might be like, I don't know which is worse. Because the farts were really unfunny to me.
The farts are very unfunny, but... I don't know, just the fact that the Abraham Lincoln one... I feel like I can just see through that joke so hard.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's not much to the fart joke, but at least that's kind of like a thing. Like, it's like, oh shit, like I farted.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you're laughing so hard that you fart, and then you're like, oh damn, like I farted. And I've never seen, to be fair, I've never seen that mixed, like, an evil laugh mixed with, like, oh no, the laugh made me fart. I've never seen, to be fair, I've never seen that mixed together.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it worth 5 iterations throughout the movie? Maybe not. I think you could get away with one of those, maybe 2.
What about 5?
That 5 maybe is pushing it. I think it's pushing it. Anyways.
Good movie.
Good movie.
But you were saying, though, about the Kenny G thing. I just wanted to tie those two things together because I feel like it's connected, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they do that, I don't remember, but I feel like they do it that again. Where it's like, oh, they just like, oh, play the funny song.
They definitely do that with Scarface.
Oh, okay,
right?
that's one. Yeah.
So
it's like, haha, play the funny song.
He does a really funny Scarface impression, which we'll get to as well.
And it's like, well, honestly, I don't know. I feel like this movie was made for adults, but I don't know if I could say that definitively.
That feels like bullshit. That feels like bullshit. This was made for like 10-year-olds.
It could be. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know who they marketed towards when it came out.
Can I ask you something?
I haven't done enough research either to say.
Can I ask you something, Evan?
Yeah.
This is pertinent to what we're talking about.
Okay.
When you saw this as a kid, what did you think of it?
I feel like I thought, like, hey, that's funny. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is, like, amazing. But I was like, yeah, that's funny.
But you're just like, oh, it's like, it kind of falls in line with, like, other, like, Happy Madison, Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Like, that's funny.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, it was for fucking kids.
I guess so, yeah.
I think they cheesed it a little bit, and they were like, let's make this seem like it's maybe for adults, but then it's definitely not.
I just feel like it doesn't play well for either audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except maybe, like, a 10-year-old who's trying to be edgy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the perfect audience for it.
There's a little bit too much of, like, sexual humor.
Yeah.
But then there's, like, a little too much of, like, fart humor. So it's like, who's watching
I don't know who
this?
it's made for. No, genuinely.
This? Made for Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
It's made for him.
Well, I have something to say about Dana Carvey, but I'm going to save it for the end of the episode after we finish talking about the movie. Just a little bit more about, like, my own personal thing about this movie.
Stick around for Evan's blacklisting from the industry.
Oh, yeah.
So where are we at now? Do you want to talk about the assistant getting...
Yeah, we should talk about her, because honestly, she might be the best character in the movie. Like, genuinely.
She's like his carer.
Yeah, because we were saying that, like, she might be the funniest character. And she's like the straight man. She's supposed to be like the straight man. Like,
yeah.
She's like, oh, what is this nonsense?
I think the reason that is, at least to me, is because everyone is the straight man already, because everyone hates fucking Pistachio. No one likes him. No one thinks he's funny.
Yeah.
So someone comes along and she like she doesn't get pissed off by him, but she's like, what? Like,
yeah.
And she's also, what's the word? Everyone else is kind of the straight man, but she's like the most sane one.
Yeah, because everyone else is like an asshole.
Yeah, everyone.
But she's like nice to him or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say she's even nice in the beginning.
At first, no, but like as they work together,
she just seems like the most sane person.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because it's like, oh, like you can say like, oh, his coworker is like a straight man, but he's like a massive asshole, like an unreasonable asshole.
Yeah, like no one in the world is this much an asshole.
Yeah.
Like even on their worst day, like the second his girlfriend turns his back, he's like, "You're a fucking loser, kid. I'm gonna break your."
Oh, I didn't even mean him. I meant the coworker. But yeah, there's the assistant's boyfriend also.
Yeah, the assistant's boyfriend
is also a huge asshole.
And the coworker are like the same character.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so the assistant gets hired in a very hilarious scene.
Yeah, where pretty much he's like, "What is this?" That's like.
No, I just thought it was funny. Wait, the first. So they go through and the grandfather. Oh, Evan, are you okay?
I almost fell.
Evan needed to reach for his
I've got my Baja Blast.
You need your Baja Blast. So the grandfather is like, "Oh,
it tastes like shit."
Oh, that's mean. That's mean. But the grandfather says, "Oh, Pistachio, you need your disguising assistant.
Yeah.
It's time." And so they put out an ad in the fucking paper, I guess, for an assistant when his like parents are like being held captive. But that's fine. But they put a fucking ad out in the paper. They come, and they go through like 50 people.
Yeah.
And then the grandfather's like, "They're all fucking terrible." And then like the last one is like the lady that gets hired, the assistant.
I just want to say though, also, I feel like that could have been a funny joke, like haha, like the audition, like let me compare it to an audition scene that is funny, played in like a similar way. Have you seen Mystery Men?
I know what you're talking about, yes.
So you've seen it before, and you haven't, or you've seen like bits and pieces.
I have definitely seen the audition scene, yeah.
Okay, so there's the scene where it's like. Because the three main characters here are like Ben Stiller and the two other guys. I don't remember because it's been a long time since I've seen it. That'd be a fun movie to do one day. But anyway,
yeah.
They're like, remember, they want to like put together the team. They want to put together the Mystery Man. So they're auditioning like these wannabe superheroes, and it's like, oh, they're all kind of goofy, and it's like, oh, you find out like I remember Dane Cook is the Waffler.
Yeah,
like he's one of them. I think that's like the famous one from that scene or whatever.
Doesn't Smash Mouth come out?
Do they? I don't remember.
Smash Mouth or Blink-182 or like
maybe it's been a long time since I've seen
like
that movie.
I think the front man from one of those comes out and he's like, "Hey."
But my point is, though, I remember that like specifically the Dane Cook one. It's like, oh, this is funny. Like he's like a stupid hero, and it's like, of course you're not gonna make the team. Like you're even shittier than us. Like, we're already the shitty heroes. And I feel like this scene is just completely wasted. All they do is just show a bunch of people and like, no. They don't show like why or like they could have had like a few goofy people. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, there's
or like, or have them be like too reasonably sane, and it's like, no, you're too normal, yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, all they do is just show people, and the grandpa's like, no.
Yeah, they don't do anything with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just do a montage of like normal people, and they're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very unfunny, the entire scene.
They do nothing. Like we said, it's very lazy.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason the movie is not funny. It's just lazy.
Yeah.
Like that's the like main thing I would say.
Yeah. But then we get the assistant. She comes in.
The real one.
Yeah. And, oh yeah, I guess we didn't mention that, but she turns out to be like the mom of the kid he's nice to or whatever.
Yeah, there's like a neighborhood kid that Dana Carvey's character is nice to.
And she's his mother. And, oh yeah, at first they make fun of her because they just take her measurements. So that's the first scene where that's the first thing she's like, what the fuck? So the first question after, what are your measurements?
Evan laughed out loud immediately during that part. To be fair, it was funny. But, yeah, because they do the interview scene where he, like, the old grandpa is just, like, yelling at everyone.
Yeah.
And he's like, get out. And then they meet the girl outside. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. Can I do the interview? And they're like, okay. And they go back inside, and then they sit down, and then he's like, what are your measurements? And then the rest of the interview is just, like really, like, creepy and, like, sexist.
Oh, they make fun of her for her ass being too small.
That's funny.
Because, you know, they're all the disguisees, they're obsessed with giant fucking asses.
Well, they're Italian-bred men.
Yeah.
So... But the first time that they do the ass thing was, like, directly... He's like, oh, he wants a woman like his mama.
Yeah.
and then it shows, like, his girl that, like, he has a crush on that he met last night.
It's the mother from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, the mom was of Waverly Place. And she has a big, fat, fake ass. And he's like, there's something about her that reminds me of mother. Of mama.
Yeah, he likes that.
I do like them making fun of her for a small ass. That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Because it pays off later.
Well, that's not why.
That's one of the things that pays off in this movie.
To me, that's not why it's funny, though. Like, it's just funny. Like, fuck your small ass, bitch.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's mean. I like small butts.
Well, Evan's a fucking tryhard. Anyways. But yeah, it was ahead of its time in that way. Big butts were not in 2002.
I don't think that's true.
For a white people movie? Like a white people comedy movie in 2002? Not really.
I feel like big butts have always been...
No, they haven't. I guarantee you they have not.
That... I don't know about all that.
Evan Captain.
How am I capping?
Because that's not like... You ever seen Supermodels?
Well, that's still a thing now, though.
But they don't have nearly the same, like, small butt that they used to. Like, guys used to like small butts, but they don't no more.
I guess.
Yeah, it's the thing!
I don't think so.
Alright, Evan's a loser.
I feel like that's always been something people like.
Nah, not really. Not really. Like, shapely. Like, shapely butts have always been in, but not big butts.
Oh, maybe.
Not like Dana Carvey likes.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
No, I'm right, Evan.
I don't know.
I'm correct.
I wasn't around back then. I was around back then, but I wasn't around, like...
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, like,
yeah, we'll have to ask someone old.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like body shaming. It's very good. Very good.
I don't know. So yeah, she's like, what the fuck? You're weird.
She's like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
You guys are so wacky.
But
you know what's really stupid?
And also she like solves like she kind of like solves all the fucking like mystery.
Yeah, she kind of does everything. Yeah. One thing that is like so stupid. What was it? Oh, damn, I lost it. Sorry.
What was stupid?
I don't know. I lost it. The whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, you're gonna move on to something.
Oh, I was saying about how she pretty much just solves everything, like, because the first thing she says, like, why don't we just look like where he first went missing? He's like, oh, you're fucking stupid. And
I thought that was kind of funny. No, because what he says is, because she's like, what? Well, if you want to start looking for your dad, why don't we look where he was taken? And then he's like, that's crazy. Crazy enough to work.
And then they do that like 4 other times.
Yeah, it was funny.
You think it's funny?
It's hilarious. No, it was funny.
It's funny the first time.
It was funny that time.
Yeah.
For sure.
But like when they do it like 4 more times, it's like...
It was just funny.
Like you said, the movie is very lazy.
It's very lazy, yeah. Because it's like, dude, it's called the rule of 3s, not the rule of fucking 5s, where you have the fart joke 5 fucking times.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, they look at where his father first went missing. She finds the cigarette, not the cigarette, the cigar. The cigar for the Turtle Club.
For the Turtle.
And this leads to the famous scene.
And so that got me hype.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, oh no, like this is so epic.
Yeah.
It's like in Lightyear.
Yeah, it's like Lightyear when he finally gets his suit.
With the many various teases.
Yeah.
That only makes sense if you've seen the other movies. So it's like that is similar because this tease only makes sense if you've seen the funny clip on YouTube.
Oh,
and you're like, oh, the scene is coming. So that's great.
Or you've seen the marketing.
Or the hilarious marketing.
Yeah. So yeah, this is where the famous turtle scene where he's and also we were like hyped when it's coming, but then when you watch it, it's like so not funny. It's really bad. He's just like, he keeps going like, oh, turtle. Like he just keeps saying it, and it's like, okay.
Can I bring up my theory?
Yeah.
For this? Okay. I'll try not to be offensive, as I always try not to do. But I think...
Well, it's not even a theory. It's pretty much like, it's just what happens.
It's kind of what happens. But... I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't most people wouldn't think about it because the movie has so little logic. But there is a little logic to it because... In what's his name? In Pistachio's Infinite Wisdom, he says, we're going to the Turtle Club. I'm going to dress like a turtle. Like a green suited turtle man. And so he does. And so they go in and he says, turtle, can I get into the Turtle Club? And then he brings the sane woman with her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, like ever since he was a kid, like he's always wanted to come here. Like, can we come in real quick? And the bodyguard's like a nice guy, like the bouncer or like the security guy. And he's like, oh, okay, like go ahead.
Yeah. And
so it's just like, he's just being like nice. And it's kind of one of the funniest parts of the movie, just because like he's just he's clearly mentally ill. So they're like, whether the character actually thought that would get him in, or if he's actually like a mentally challenged person, like he comes off mentally challenged either way.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It works. It kind of works. Like there's a logic to it.
Yeah.
I get like
Yeah, I would agree.
There's definitely an internal logic to it. I don't know. I kind of appreciate that. The rest of the movie, most of the movie, does not have anything like that. But it's like, oh, I'm the master of disguise, and he just gets in because they think he's fucking a child at heart. Because he's a Disney adult.
Yeah, he's a Disney adult.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, yeah, they're like, whatever. He just goes in. There's a really bad gag when he bites the guy's nose off.
So that felt like a fucking fever dream.
Yeah.
That did not feel like part of the movie. That felt like really weird. Because, like, I'd never seen that part. Like, literally, he's like, I'm scared, I'm gonna go into my turtle shell. And then the guy's like, hey, where'd you go? And he, like, puts his nose, like, up to the shell, and he's like, where'd you go? Like, why are you in the shell?
Yeah, see, guys are being, like, assholes to him, basically.
Yeah.
They're like, what's up with your fucking getup, or whatever.
And then he lunges out of the turtle shell and bites the guy's nose off. But there's no blood, and it's like clay. It's like it came off like a clay model or an action figure. And then he quickly rips it off with his mouth, and then he spits it right back on, and then the scene ends.
No, then you see him like spinning on the floor.
Oh yeah,
and then it just ends.
No, and then it like fades into him like spinning around on the floor like a fucking maniac, and then it cuts away.
And then so basically he does nothing except just be a fucking idiot, and then she like gets the information about the villain or whatever. So, like we said, it's like she's kind of the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
Because he's just stupid.
Kind of disturbing.
It is kind of disturbing.
Kind of disturbing. And, so we didn't really mention this, and it's not even worth mentioning, really, but he's like so his family's Italian, as we mentioned. It's a classic name, Disguisey.
Yeah.
It's a classic Italian name, but if you didn't catch that, they're Italian. They work at an Italian restaurant, and his dad, like, has him work as a waiter, and completely separately ruins like two different people's nights. Like on the same night.
Yeah.
For like different reasons. But what I like though is like his dad and his mom are still like very supportive and like nice to him, which I feel like in a comedy movie like this like I wouldn't really expect.
Yeah, it'd be more like Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah,
the dad's like an asshole to him for being stupid.
Yeah, and I like. Neither of them really deserve to be, like, shit on by their parents, but, like, I mean, Freddy probably deserves it maybe less than, well, I don't know. They're both idiots.
Yeah. No, Gord. Gord, you mean.
Oh, yeah, Freddy.
Gord. Yeah, Gord.
Well, no, Freddy deserves to get fucking crucified. Yeah.
I feel like Gord might be stupider than Pistachio.
I don't know. That's a good debate. That's a good debate right there.
I'm not sure, though. Gord might be stupid.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
So Freddy Got Fingered Gord and fucking this Master of Disguise Pistachio. Who is more stupid? I feel like the world of Freddy Got Fingered is more stupid.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably, like, per capita, there are more, like, normal smart people in the Master of Disguise
Definitely, yeah.
Because everyone in Freddy Got Fingered feels like a fucking sociopath or something.
Well, I'm gonna say, I feel like Pistachio is less stupid because at the end he's a little bit competent. Like, he kind of saves the day at the end.
Yeah.
Where I feel like throughout the whole movie, Freddy Got Fingered, Gord does, like, nothing.
Yeah, so probably...
It's like when he finally gets the money, it's because of a fuck-up, and then when he wastes the money immediately. Yeah. Whereas, like, Pistachio, he gets the girl at the end. He saves the day, he gets the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he actually cleans himself up. He has that one persona that's supposed to be badass, but isn't. Yeah.
So for that reason, I think Gord might be stupider.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad we hashed that out. So what else do we got, Evan?
I think what it comes... I can't remember exactly, but I think what comes after that pretty much... I mean, it doesn't even matter because nothing in this movie really matters.
Yeah, this movie sucks.
But it's like, they go to his party or whatever. The bad guy. And that's when we get the Al Pacino Scarface.
Oh, jeez.
And this is really bad. It's so, like, painfully unfunny.
Because it's just like... And what's crazy about this, too, is, like, we're going to probably talk more about the credits. But there are more intricate and interesting costumes that didn't make the cut of the movie that are in the credits. That are, like, deleted scenes.
Yeah.
His Scarface impression is not good. He doesn't have any good jokes in that costume. And the costume is very, like... I mean, it's not, like, a terrible, like, wig or costume, but it's, like, not interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, he doesn't do anything with it. It's not funny.
His accent's not funny. Yeah, because again, it's like, oh, she sneaks into the house and takes the pictures or whatever.
You know why that probably stayed in, and like the carnival barker guy or whatever, and the dinosaur didn't?
Yeah.
You have to keep that in. Because he's like distracting them so she can like get the plot stuff.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So I guess you can't cut Scarface. But obviously, like, if in a better world... You'd at least want there to be, like, the fun costumes in the movie over the fucking... Like, the Scarface one is just so lazy.
Yeah, it really is. And his fucking Scarface impression is terrible. And then there's no funny jokes with it, like you said. It's just, like, him being wacky to the guards. Yeah. And then he dances later. And that's another... I forgot, they play another, like, pop song.
Yeah.
And then... It's just bad.
He says, say hello to my little head. And he's holding it like a shrunken head.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, that was... Not fun. That was bad. That was pretty bad.
Say hello to my little head.
We said this a couple times already, but that might be the worst scene in the movie, maybe.
Scarface?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Or did you say Scarface?
No. What did I say? I don't remember what I said.
There are multiple worse scenes in this movie.
No, for me, Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, it was that.
For me, Abraham Lincoln.
The reason I say this might be worse is because it's longer. But, I don't know. They're both pretty bad, so.
But at least, like, in the Abraham Lincoln one, I feel like that has nothing going for it. At least the Scarface one...
You get a little bit of it pushing the plot.
Yeah, it's pushing the plot forward, and it's also, like...
He kind of does something, because he distracts them or whatever.
It's not a good impression, but at least it is an impression.
Yeah.
The Abraham Lincoln part is just nothing.
Yeah, that is true.
It's just nothing.
That is true.
So, yeah, I think for me, I'll stick with Abraham Lincoln. I think that's the worst thing in the movie. But yeah, so he Scarface distracts them, and then the guards, like, chase him off eventually while she's getting the cool...
I don't even remember
plot
what it was.
relevant
Yeah, whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
She gets the funny device, and he runs away, and they're like... They see a sailor man...
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a parody of the dude from Jaws.
And they say, hey, man, have you seen, like, a Scarface running around? And he's like, well, I tell you, I ain't never seen that. You don't seen like that before.
Yeah, he starts speaking gibberish.
Yeah.
It literally said gibberish because we had the captions on when we were watching it and it said gibberish.
Which is really funny.
Yeah.
Props, by the way, to HBO Max for having more intricate captioning than Disney.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I watched Disney Plus with the captions on. And half the times, the words are not even right.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like YouTube auto captions. But the closed caption in this, like, when it says gibberish in parenthesis for gibberish,
that's gibberish.
Like, that's an actual caption writer writing the captions. But in Disney, it's just auto, so it's not even accurate.
Well, shout out to HBO Max.
Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah. Once again, outshining Disney. Also, they had the great film for us to watch.
Yeah,
Master of Disguise. They did. On their service, so... Thank you again, HBO.
Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to them.
And then I think it's like, oh, the bad guy or whatever, it's like, oh, he wants to keep her there because she's sexy, the assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and rescues her as, like, the British guy or whatever. He's like, I'm her... I forgot what he said. Like, I'm her accountant or some shit. Like, something stupid.
Well, yeah, he was like, oh, like, the fucking British tax people want you back.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention, so there's the Scarface parody, which is funny. And then they have the Jaws parody, which is funny.
Yeah, hilarious.
And then there's a third disguise there.
Oh, the dog shit. Or the cow shit.
Yes. I actually, not the whole time, but I thought that was funny. The transition was funny. Because the guy, like, the henchman's like, oh, damn, I stepped in shit.
Yeah.
And then they just, like, they're like, oh, we lost him. And they turn around. And then, like, the shit in the grass, like, stands up and it's Dana Carvey.
It's definitely a more clever...
It's a funny...
disguises, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's also funny because he had this intricate fucking costume. And he, like, I don't know if he got under the cow shit or if the cow shit on his costume or the costume that was part of the costume. Either way... He blew that super intricate costume by standing up right after they said they were leaving. Because they were like, oh, he's like stood up, like he blew it.
Oh, they see him right there. Yeah, they see him. Yeah.
He like they like, oh shit, we give up, like we lost him.
Yeah.
And they turn around and he gets up right after that. Which that was pretty funny to me.
It was hilarious.
So props to that hilarious part.
Yeah. And then I don't know what happens after that. It does.
They just keep going.
They just keep going. He has more goofy disguises.
That's the part where you were like, thank God, there's only like 30 minutes left.
It was right around then, yeah. Yeah, so after that, he rescues her, and then what happens? She gets kidnapped again.
Yeah, he rescues her, and then they do something else?
Yeah, that's what she starts like, she starts falling in love with him or whatever, his fucking assistant.
He gets a little pep talk from her.
Because they go to the restaurant, and then she sees her boyfriend cheating on her with the big-ass girl.
From earlier,
yeah. And then Dana Carvey finally masters his slapping ability, and he, like...
Which is epic.
Yeah, he slapped the shit out of him. And then she's like, oh, you know what, Pistachio? I thought you were a fucking idiot, but you know what? You're not so bad. And she gives him a little kiss, and he's like, my first kiss.
Dana Carvey for Luigi.
Yeah. And then she gets kidnapped. Because they're like, oh yeah, we know who he is now. And they kidnap her. And then, I don't know what happens after that.
They go save her.
Oh yeah, they go save her. Her son is like, Pistachio, my mom is gone, whatever. And he's speaking to the big Jor-El head of his fucking grandfather.
Yeah, that part sucks.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. They go save her. He does slapping, the end.
Yeah.
And he saves his father as well, and his mother.
So I did want to talk about the ending.
Oh, you know what else was really, like... Again, it's like, what? So, like, throughout the whole movie, his mother is, like, captured in some, like, Matrix fucking shit. Eating, like, the caramel popcorn that makes her believe she's, like, still in her kitchen or whatever. Then at the end, it's like, all of a sudden, she just knows. Like, oh, this is all fake.
Which...
And they don't explain it.
There's never really a joke there.
No, there isn't. I was just like, she's like in the Matrix.
No, because like even like I said, like the Abraham Lincoln part, like right, like that's the stupidest fucking. I hate that part. It's probably my least favorite joke in the movie, but it is a joke.
Yeah, yeah.
But when he shows on the watch, he's like, "We have your mom, and she's eating this popcorn that keeps her mind controlled into believing she's in your kitchen, still cooking dinner." And then later, the payoff isn't like a joke; it's like a cool moment. It's like supposed
the payoff is a plot hole.
It's supposed to be like a cool moment where she's like, I'm not eating your popcorn anymore. And then she like kills the security guard that was about to kill her. And it's not like there's no joke.
It's just extremely lazy, right? It's like they didn't know what to do, so they're just like, okay, she breaks out of the hypnosis.
You can at least fucking put a joke there.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's just supposed to be, like, to me, like, it just read as them trying to be, like, a cool moment. Like, there's no joke.
No, I think it was just lazy. That's what I say.
Yeah.
It's just laziness. It's like they didn't know what to do, so they were just like, okay, we'll do that.
Well, if they were going for anything, I think it was supposed to be like, oh, like, she got the bad guy. Yeah. I don't know. It's so, but yeah, either way, so lazy. So yeah, then we know that's the end of the mom. She gets incest lusted after, and then she, like, escapes.
Yeah. Very good.
So good for... She passes the Bechdel test.
And then how he saves his dad. This is when the energy code comes back, whatever. So, like, they make the dad, like, believe that he's the villain. By, like, stapling a mask on his fucking face or whatever. They super glue the mask to his face.
They put one of his classic Master of Disguise masks on his face.
And, like, I forgot how... Like, is there even a... Do they even explain how he believes he's the villain?
No.
He's like, it's the dark side of the energy code.
Yeah, but it's like, why would the villain have that? like, what is going on? The villain doesn't have that. You have that.
And then classic Pistachio using the good energy could bring him back by making him... He's like, Daddy, you remember I put the underwear on my head.
Remember the funny underwear.
Yeah, and then he starts breaking out. And like we said, this all happened so quick. Cause it's just like they just wanted to end the movie. You know what I mean?
It actually feels like they I think I've said that with a couple other movies, but it feels like they were filming in order and ran out of steam.
Yeah,
and like they were writing on the day, like on the set.
So before that, the villain had escaped, and then they go find him or whatever after they break the dad free, and he comes to like the fucking island that he's like vacationing on.
He goes to Epstein's Island.
Well, yeah, we have a theory that the villain is on Jeffrey Epstein's island. And then,
because at this point in the movie, wait, did we even mention what his plan was?
No, we didn't. Which is also Go ahead.
So I actually thought this was kind of funny. So basically, the dad, first of all, he wants revenge.
Yeah.
Because the father of Pistachio
got him in jail.
Put him in jail 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So he gets out of jail and he kidnaps the guy who put him in jail, Pistachio's dad, and the wife. And he doesn't have any fucking this has nothing to do with Pistachio. It's purely about the dad.
Yeah.
So he has the wife hostage and he's like, I'm gonna kill your fucking wife unless you put on your funny little masks and you steal unresellable objects for me to sell. He wants the Constitution, space shuttles,
the Liberty Bell,
the Mona Lisa, just unsellable artifacts, and he wants to sell them on dark web eBay, which this was kind of ahead of its time.
The dark web eBay,
the dark web, it's damn, 2002. Someone has something to answer for on the writing staff. Why did you? Anyways, so I thought that was kind of funny because. Every single heist is just a celebrity cameo, and it's just the dad dresses I guess every scenario is oh, this security guard likes Gwen Stefani, so I'm gonna be Gwen Stefani. That seems to be what the plan is with every single one. And
I like the Jesse Ventura one, and the fucking Liberty Bell.
I just like it because it makes no sense, but in a funny way, kind of.
Yeah.
It just you don't really need an explanation for this kind of thing. It's just it just works.
Yeah.
I'm Britney Spears. Give me the Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
It just works. I don't know. I like it. I think it's pretty funny.
It is.
But sadly, every single scene of that is followed by a fart joke. Every single time. But yeah, so he does the funny underwear and saves the day, right?
Mm.
So there was you want to talk about some of the post credits and stuff?
Oh, did we talk? We didn't finish talking about Epstein's Island.
Oh,
he shows up as a George W. Bush.
And there's one frame where he looks perfectly like the real George Bush. That does happen. But the reason I also think so that was his plan. That's why I brought that up. So the reason I thought maybe it's Epstein's Island is because George Bush is there, which that's when you said it was Epstein's Island. But it makes sense because the villain of the movie would now be the richest man in the world because he successfully sold the Liberty Bell, the Mona Lisa, all this shit, the most expensive shit in the world. And according to the movie, he got 50 of those.
Yeah.
Over the course of a week, which was very impressive.
Very impressive.
But yeah, so he's the richest man in the world at this point. And then the second person you see there is the president. Dana Carvey's version of the president, but you assume. He would have to be there or have been there for that disguise to work, so... but yeah, then they murder him and he farts. And they all laugh.
Yeah.
Which is very
funny. And then the movie ends.
Yeah, they kill him. All the disguisees laugh. And he farts. Okay.
And then the post-credits starts. And that's when we see... the credits in general start. And that's when he sees... We see first he gets married to his assistant who's in love with him now. So Pistachio successfully overcame his Oedipus complex. And he got married to a woman with a smaller ass.
Bad for him.
So yeah, that was oh, there you go. There's some character development.
A terrible
for
fate.
Him and his family.
A terrible fate for Pistachio.
Well, she was pretty cute. I liked her.
She was cute. She was cute.
Yeah.
But I prefer the mommy from This Is a Waverly Place.
Well, yeah.
She bad.
She ain't bad.
She's like Latina Fran from The Nanny. Bad. But yeah, this is pretty nutty, right?
This is nutty.
The whole post credits in general. There's so many cut disguises
Yeah, and like, there's the one where he's a caveman. And there's a big dinosaur prop.
There's a very elaborate mobile dinosaur prop. Like, it looked like a puppet. And it was like 1-to-1 scale dinosaur. It was a big one. So they probably spent a lot of money on that puppet. And it was not in the movie.
Yeah.
That's
and there's the one where he's like the fat toy salesman.
Yeah, and that's a pretty elaborate makeup job with the fat guy.
And we see his assistant dress up and the villain's there. So that was something that was going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
And they just cut it out.
Yeah, there's a few in there that are like, oh, this was definitely like...
Yeah.
This isn't like a bit, like for the credits.
Yeah,
Like, this was in the movie.
So they cut out a lot.
Yeah, they seem to have cut out a lot. And it's like, for what?
Because they were like, oh, this movie's already bad.
Was it like,
make it worse.
Oh, we need this movie to be as short as possible because we need it to be playing like as many times a day in the theater as we
Maybe
can.
that's what they were thinking, yeah.
That is deeply fucking stupid. But, excuse me. Very cool. Very epic. Is there any cool parts of the credits you want to mention?
Well, I was going to say there's like 5 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, well, so, yeah, during the actual credits, right, they're doing these, like, outtakes, deleted scenes, and bloopers.
Yeah.
And then that all ends, the credits ends, and then there's, like, canon post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
So we can get into those.
So it's like... There's one where it's like, oh, he's with the fucking robot who slaps him. And then he opens it up.
What can I say?
What?
He was going to open it up, and I was like, there's going to be a midget in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah, there's a midget inside. Who has a Party City Baby Mario costume.
He does?
Yeah.
He literally has on a fucking Mario, like, Party City felt costume.
Yeah. And then they start, like, slapping each other, chasing each other, whatever.
Yeah,
and then it cuts, and then there's another scene where they're being, like, interviewed with each other. It cuts, and then it comes back, and he's like, I want to say goodbye to everybody, the midget.
Yeah, it cuts to black.
Yeah.
And then the midget, the little person character, he says, I'm sad, the pistachio.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, why are you sad, Luigi? Like, what do you mean I'm sad? Like, what the fuck?
You want to say goodbye to the audience.
Weird.
And then it cuts, and then it comes back again, and you get the fucking dog or
and
whatever.
And the dog starts talking.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what he says. It's just like some random bullshit.
Yeah.
I think that might have been a cut part. I think maybe there was a part where a character was like disguised as a dog, as the dog. The cuteness.
The cuteness. He would disguise in the cuteness.
Yeah, cuteness.
So yeah, for some reason there's a bunch of material and they leave it all for the very end.
Yeah, there was a lot in there where I was like, this is a lot more interesting than
what was in the movie.
The rest of the movie.
Yeah, like the caveman thing. I would have rather seen that than the Al Pacino fucking Scarface.
Yeah,
one.
there's a lot because like, okay, we haven't really talked about this, right? Not joke wise, what is the best disguise in the movie?
The best disguise in the movie, not counting the credits, or counting the
credits. Best in the proper movie.
Okay. The best disguise in... Well, I remember you mentioned one.
By Pistachio.
Yeah.
Not by the... Because the dad is, like, way better.
Yeah, and the grandpa as well.
And the grandpa.
But
Pistachio's disguises.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I mentioned one. I was like, oh, that's the best one. I can't remember what it was.
I know I mentioned one.
Yeah.
The grandma.
Yeah.
I think that might be the best one, to me.
Yeah. Because he looks like an old lady.
Yeah, because I was saying, like, if I bumped into fucking Dana Carvey in that makeup in a fucking gas station, and he was like, can I borrow a fucking quote? I'd be like, yeah, yo, bitch. Like, yeah, like, I would believe it.
Yeah, so that certainly could be it. Well, the turtle one's really bad.
It's not the turtle. It's not Scarface.
Maybe George W. Bush, honestly.
That's a pretty good one.
Maybe George W. Bush.
But if I... Wait, what's that guy's name?
Dana Carvey?
No, fucking... This would have been funny if I could remember his name. The guy from Iron Man 2.
Sam Rockwell?
Yeah, I'd be like, Sam Rockwell, get out of here. Get out of here, Sam Rockwell. You're not fooling me. I think it's the old lady.
Yeah, that's probably.
I think that would fool me.
One of the better ones. The worst one, I think, is probably Scarface.
Scarface is really bad.
Yeah.
Because even if someone showed up to my Halloween party in that costume, I'd be like, dude, like you didn't even try. Like, get a better costume. Like, that sucks.
What do you? So you would agree that's the worst one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't like the British guy either.
The British guy was so lame.
It was just not funny. It was not funny.
It wasn't supposed to be funny. I think it was supposed to be badass.
That's what makes me think, like, oh, maybe this movie was meant for kids. It's like, oh, these are the badass moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a couple moments where it's like, oh, he's badass. Like, oh, that's crazy. Like, oh no, he's fighting like a room full of ninjas. Like,
can I use it? But since you're on that, can I use that to get on a point that I have about this, like a theory I have about this film?
Sure.
I feel like, so, okay, of course, Dana Carvey and Mike Myers, they did Wayne's World together.
Yes, they did.
And I feel like Dana Carvey watched Mike Myers do Austin Powers, and he was like, I want that. I want to do one of those.
I want my Austin Powers.
Yeah. And he thought this would be it.
And they gave him, like, a quarter of the budget.
I don't know, do you think I'm reaching?
No, I think they're very similar.
Yeah.
Obviously, Austin Powers is, like, a billion times better.
Yeah. But it's like, the spy kind of parody thing.
The silly accent. Like, you mentioned this, too. They both have, like, a funny European accent. Like, they're silly.
The villains are kind of similar, I guess.
Kind of.
Yeah.
They should have got, what's his name? Steve Martin.
Yeah, why not?
Remember in when we were watching Looney Tunes Back in Action, he's doing, like, the terrible Dr.
Evil
impression. They should have got Steve Martin.
Remember.
Because he really wanted to do that, I guess.
Yeah.
No one beats Dr. Evil.
Certainly, no.
Pretty goated.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy how, like, there's no characters in this movie that are funny or memorable or cool.
Well, Pistachio, pretty memorable.
Because, like, Dr. Evil's, like...
I'll never forget him.
Pistachio, he has a place in my heart.
Yeah.
But... not funny. Yeah. But it's crazy because, like, Dr. Evil is, like... almost like a cool character. Like, on his own.
Yeah.
Like, he's like... I don't know, he's just like this supervillain. Like, he's cool.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it's like... Like, where's your Super Bowl commercial character? Like, you don't have one. You just don't have one. There's no, like, iconic character. Only the turtle suit. That's the only iconic...
Well, that's pretty iconic.
That's, like, the only iconic thing about the movie is the turtle suit. Put that in Fortnite, right?
They should put Pistachio in Fortnite.
So, Evan, I want to ask you a crazy question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could add Pistachio Disguisey to Fortnite,
mm-hmm.
what would you make his alternate style?
What would I make him in the turtle suit?
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Yeah,
I'll
make that. Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, that would have to be it. It's the only one anybody would care about. I
would pick the grass with the shit on it.
Oh, that's pretty good, too.
Because then you could use that to cheese on Fortnite. You could, like, hide, like, really good.
In the bushes?
Yeah, you could hide, like, really good with that. So, yeah, there's a broken pay-to-win Pistachio Disguise Fortnite skin coming soon. Sounds good. Oh, he also references Shrek.
Oh, yeah. Another...
Which is kind of like a direct call-out to Mike Myers.
Yeah.
But the whole... I agree with you. Like, the whole vibe of the movie is, like, a very poorly executed Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like, it's not so much of a clone that you really notice it, but when you think about it, I'm like, yeah, that does sound right.
He was like, I want that.
Yeah.
He's like, why does Mike get that and I don't?
Because it's like, Austin Powers...
He's like, I'm Garth. I'm not even Wayne. I'm Garth. Give me my leading fucking... Like, I want to lead a franchise. He's like, Mike... At the point, he was like, Mike has Wayne for... He is the Wayne. He got Austin Powers and he got Shrek. Dana Carvey's like, I want that.
Yeah.
And it was just a massive failure.
And he just shit the bed.
Yeah.
So, terrible job.
Yeah, pretty much.
Terrible job, Dana Carvey.
What were you going to say, though?
Who directed this? No, I was going to say...
They have not directed anything else, if it's the only thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Who directed Paul Blart that we were looking at?
I don't remember. Some other fucking terrible director.
A good director, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, some other genius fucking auteur.
Evan, what do you give this film out of 10?
I would give it like a 3 out of 10.
I would give it 1 star out of 3. Out of my classic 3 stars.
That sounds fitting.
Out of 10, I would give it less than the equivalent.
Oh.
But since I'm rounding,
I got you.
there you go.
Master of Disguise.
I did give it on Letterboxd. I did give it 1 star out of 5, but I did like it because it is great.
Because it's a masterpiece of a film.
Yeah, it's just.
It was just too genius.
There's something about it.
Small brains.
Yeah, like we just aren't like, kind of like, comedy oriented. We're more like a action or drama type of like individual. So like when it's a comedy, we can't really, you know. We haven't taken in the greats. You know,
I would agree with that.
I don't really understand. But yeah, terrible fucking movie. Worst movie I've seen in a long time. Thank you guys.
Really? I think you said you hated Lightyear more than you hated this.
That is true, actually.
Yeah.
This is definitely the worst comedy I've seen.
Okay, there you go.
Maybe ever.
Honestly, no. I thought Lost City was worse than this. I'm serious.
Lost. I mean, when you boil it down...
Because Lost City was just, like, bad. Where this is, like, it's stupid enough where I can find some enjoyment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas Lost City was just bad.
Yeah, Lost City was just, like, hacky.
Yeah, and that's a comedy, so I think that was worse than this.
For me, when it gets to, like, movies like picking between these, it's like, which is shorter?
And that was shorter.
Master of Disguise is shorter, so I'd probably, maybe agree. And also, there's, like, sexier parts in this.
Yeah, so, you know.
Like, Sandra Bullock, she doesn't barely even have any sexy parts.
Yeah. So.
But there's, like, giant fake butts in this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so that's cool.
That's great.
Plus, the Turtle Club.
Turtle Club.
Turtle Club is funnier than any joke in Lost City.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. I say maybe because that was pretty unfunny.
I don't think I laughed once in Lost City. I laughed in this.
I remember when we saw Lost City, the whole theater was fucking silent. You remember?
Can I roast Andy real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Andy laughed out loud like 2 or 3 times.
Did he?
He did.
I don't think so.
He did. I know he did.
I ain't gonna do him like that.
I'm sorry to expose you, Andy, if you're listening, but you definitely did laugh a couple times. But to be fair...
I can't remember. I started falling asleep like halfway through it.
To be fair, I think I laughed. I laughed.
There were probably 1 or 2 funny parts.
There's like a couple jokes in there. Something with Brad Pitt, probably.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were asleep. Andy was asleep.
Did he actually pass out?
Andy was asleep, I think, for like a big chunk of the movie. Both of you.
No, I didn't like dead ass pass out, but I remember like a lot of times when we see these shitty movies, like around the halfway mark, I just start getting sleepy. Yeah. And then I wake up again. But it was like that. I didn't actually like pass out, but I was like, oh shit, I'm getting tired.
For me, Lost City was not the first, but
it was the first time I ever saw a good movie in the theaters.
It was the first time since the pandemic.
Yeah.
That I saw a great film.
Yeah.
No, it was like. It was one of the first times where I was just like, this is a waste of my fucking time. That doesn't usually happen for me. Usually I want to give the movie, like, the full run and, like, give it a chance. But for Lost City, I was like, I know what this is. Like, this is a waste of my fucking time.
Can I say another movie that we both kind of had that?
Yeah.
When we saw Godzilla King of Monsters.
Yeah.
That was like that as well.
That movie fucking sucks.
Yeah. Because I remember, like, and that was long. It was, like, over 2 hours long.
That movie's really long.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because there's, like... They made it a point to have human characters, but they don't do anything and they suck. And it just wastes so much time. I don't know.
It was a bad movie.
Yeah, it's a bad fucking... A lot of bad movies out there.
Yeah, for sure. A
lot of bad... If you want to watch a good movie, watch...
Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise! No, if you want to watch a good movie, watch any other movie we've reviewed. And they're better than
besides Avengers Endgame.
This is the worst movie we reviewed?
Maybe, yeah.
I think
probably, yeah.
Even though I love shitting on Avengers Endgame, that movie's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's definitely better than this. Yeah.
It's better than this, yeah, sadly. Yeah,
I guess we haven't... This is probably the worst movie we reviewed.
Yeah, we don't really review bad movies. Even when we tried... The first time we tried to go out of our way to review a bad movie, Freddy Got Fingered, we kind of liked it.
Yeah, but we kind of went in knowing, like, oh, this is kind of a cult classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Master of Disguise, that's different. It's like, this is not a... Like, this is just, like, something people acknowledge is bad. It's not like The Room or something like that.
Yeah, Freddy Got Fingered... This is similar to The Room.
Well,
in my opinion.
The reason I said, like, The Room kind of has that following For me, The Room is like genuinely a bad movie as well. Like I watched it and it's like it was hard to watch. The Room. Yeah. It's definitely closer to that though than Freddy Got Fingered. Because The Room is like, they thought they were like Tommy Wiseau. He thought he was making something.
Yeah.
And it's like no, it was just dog shit. Whereas Freddy, it's like intentional.
Yeah, he was just shitting.
Yeah.
Like shit in the breeze.
Yeah. He's like, you give me this big budget, fuck you.
Yeah.
So
he was like, don't give me money, dumbass.
Yeah.
I love Tom Green. Tom Green's a badass. Stop going live every day, Tom Green.
He's always live. Let's see. If I go on Instagram right now, I'm genuine. I want to see, is he live? He's live all the time. Let's see. Let's see.
He's a man of the
To his
people.
credit, he's not live right now.
If we had checked...
But, like, I've woken up at, like, 5 in the morning. I'm not even joking. At 5 in the morning, I went on Instagram. I mean, he was live.
He's out feeding his livestock.
You know what, like, he's, like, he lives in the wild or whatever.
He lives in the wild.
You want to, like, find some way to connect with fucking civilization. If that helps you, yeah, fuck it.
He has a bit of fun.
He's been doing a tour, a stand-up tour recently.
Oh, really?
I was telling Dylan, like, if he comes, we gotta go. And Dylan's like, no. I want to go.
I mean,
If I buy your ticket, would you come?
I could be convinced.
Okay. If I bought your ticket, you would go?
You might not, depending on how much it is, maybe, but I could be convinced. We'll see.
It would be a good time, I think. I would love to see Tom Green live.
He's cool.
Just to be like, we reviewed your podcast, so you know what? This is a full circle moment. We reviewed your film.
Movie on the podcast.
Yeah, on the podcast.
If I saw him, I would be like, you humpy the dead movie.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And also, I don't think I've ever seen stand-up live.
No? I used to love stand-up more than fucking anything.
Yeah, I've never been a big stand-up guy just in general, but I've never went to go see stand-up live, so I would love to do that sometime.
I might have to drag you one day to a non-Tom Green stand-up. I love stand-up.
Yeah. If it's someone good. If someone good, at least.
You can just sit there and get drunk and...
don't take me like to the Vortex on like amateur night, please don't.
No.
I'm not down for that.
That's
shit.
when I go up. You don't need to go there.
Well, no, I would support you if you did
Thank
that.
you,
Yeah.
Would you laugh really hard at all my
Of
jokes?
course.
Awesome.
I would clap.
That's awesome. No clapping. You have to fake laugh.
Yeah. If you like the Joker scene.
Yeah. That's hilarious. What movie did we see where someone did that recently?
Master of Disguise.
No,
I'm sure. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it in Buzz Lightyear? No, there was some movie recently where someone did the Joker laugh that we watched together. I don't remember.
Was it Black Phone?
No. I don't know. If you know a movie where someone does the Joker laugh, it was like someone forcing themselves to laugh and it sounded like the Joker.
It wasn't Black Phone?
No. That's too recent.
Let me see. Was it Lost Boys?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, it was AI.
David. Yeah, you're
David.
right. You're right. It was.
David, yeah.
It was. That's funny. I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah,
Bugging me. But yeah, for context of that funny reference we just made, listen to our AI video.
Please.
Criminally underrated.
Criminally underrated.
Check out our Lost Boys video.
Please. It's doing decent, but it's like... It's not doing as well as our videos before AI were doing.
It's not doing the numbers.
But it's doing decent.
We
got a few subs as well. We got a few subs after we uploaded it.
It's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with our sub growth.
Yeah,
pretty
for
sweet
sure.
Because
we're coming up on 200.
We were stagnating like below 100 for a while, and then after we...
No, remember when we were at 30 subs for like months?
Yeah, we were at 30 for a long time, and then we were like at like 80 for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then we pulled our classic MomoCon stunt.
Yeah.
And we boosted our subs, and we've been climbing pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Ever since. So, thank you for supporting. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Guess what? I want you to leave.
Chicken butt.
No, that's not. No, that's not it. Please, guess what? I want you to leave a like.
Please.
On the video.
And a comment if you can.
Leave a comment. Telling us what movie to review.
Yeah.
We'll do any movie.
No. No, we will not.
Pick any movie and we'll do it.
I'm not saying anything.
Every comment on this video. We'll do every movie that is commented on this video.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you again for watching Master of Disguise. Thank you for watching Master of Disguise.
Oh, by the way... If you have a hankering to watch it, it's on HBO Max. That's where we watched it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but yeah.
We did.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them. And we'll see you next week. Evan, what are we going to do next week?
I'm not sure. We'll find out. It's your choice, so you got to tell us.
Oh, yeah. I guess I pick Lost Boys and then you pick this.
Yeah.
Huh. What fun.
What fun.
We'll
find out.
I'll be picking one of your comments, so leave a comment.
Exactly.
If you comment Lord of the Rings 100 times, I'll pick that one.
We're experimenting a bit.
That's kind of all we do. We can kind of just do whatever, which is awesome. I love it. So yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.